I'm late. My apologies. How's everybody doing out there? I'm going to start with something new for you. I played it a few weeks ago, and for those of you who are on the... No, I want to have that there. For those of you who are on the Bandcamp subscription, I released this one last week. This is called Call/Listen. I'm going to play 2 and then bring a special guest in.
You listen, put aside all your misgivings, tread lightly on your own floor. This house can't hold any more bitter encore. Bad life since August, got caught up in this city circus. Tread lightly on your own floor. This house can't hold any more bitter encores. Better not stay too long, better not cause any fight. It's better off on your own, better not start any fight. Call, I listen, put away all your misgivings. I call, you listen. You better not stay too long, better not start any fights, better not on your own, better not start any fires, better not stay too long, better not cause any fights, better not try to
Hello, Tustin. Hello, Cole Harbour. Hello, Reed. Hello, Burnley. Let me know everywhere else that people are watching and listening from. I'm gonna retune here and do an old one called Grace. That one's a good one to play because there's only 2 notes on the strings: a C, a G, a C, a G, a C, a C. But then I have to retune. Feel free to share the video if you like what's happening in it. And put your requests in there. I want to know what you want to hear. This one's from the last album, Parallel Line. That fret, that fret.
act so calmly in the face of the wreckage that you wrought. Storm upturned, the copper beach, the couch is still. We tell ourselves that nothing ever changed so much. I see it all, the grace that you hold. You send me out in the cold, oh, to cold talk, as much as you'd ever hold. Is it enough? As infinite as sin, don't ever cast a stone before you. All of us are fickle and unborn. At least you're not all the things you're not. Could there be anything that you'd rather hear less? I see it all, the grace that you stole. You send me out in the cold, oh, to cold talk, as much as you'd ever hold. You send me out, you send me out in the cold. It's not enough.
That was Grace. That was for the Kershaws, if they're watching in London, I believe. So sorry for being late here, people. It's very unacceptable and not something that I usually do. But I'm going to introduce my special guest here. I'm pretty excited about this. And just before we started, I learned that our guest is actually a fully trained classical guitarist. So I got a little bit self-conscious there, but it's not what she's typically known for. I'm going to introduce her. This is Sarah Pagé. And you can see the instrument that she's going to play right behind her. Sarah, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good.
Wonderful.
I'm good. That was beautiful, Tim.
Thank you.
Really amazing.
It's so nice to have you on here. I didn't even, we had a very long technical check yesterday, and I didn't even catch in the midst of all of that exactly where you are right now, because I know you have a place in Montreal, but I think you're out in the countryside, right?
Yeah, we moved out about an hour north of Montreal in the Laurentians. We got this place the day the lockdown started in March. So that was really exciting because basically I lost all my gigs and my partner lost his job, and then we had to go the next day to the lawyer's office to sign on debt for the first time in our lives. And I had this moment where I just called our agent and I was like, I just want to check, just throwing this out there, if we back out, we're gonna get sued, right? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's what I thought. That's great. So I'm really excited that we're moving to the country, but it's turned out to be the best thing for us. I just every day I cannot believe how magical the timing was and how lucky we were, because now I've been working all summer trying to build this studio that I'm in right now. It was a garage when we moved in, and we're getting close to the end of it, and winter's coming, so it's just in time. But yeah, we're in the forest. We've got access to trees and trails and a river, lakes, and I'm getting set up to actually write again.
Yeah.
I had to leave Montreal because, like so many people, not just in Montreal, everywhere, but just it got rent evicted again. And I think for musicians and artists in general, anybody who's on, whether it's an immigrant or any other kind of marginalized population, it's getting so hard to find reasonable, affordable place to live and to work in the city. So I'm just so lucky that we've managed to work things out this way, and we've got a managed to keep right around the corner from you
Yeah.
a little bedroom at my friend's place in Montreal. So
A
theoretically,
pied à terre.
we're neighbors in some way.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, yeah, I'm so excited to have you on. For those that don't know, Sarah Pagé is an amazing harpist. We can see her harp. No surprises there. And we're actually label mates. With my I have this other experimental project under my own name, but yeah, Backward Music, which is a good old Halifax experimental music label.
Yeah, which has been very good to both of us.
Yeah, and you released was that your first album that you released last year?
In October. Yeah, it was only last year.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, it feels crazy. Because obviously I had intended to do some touring this spring and festivals in the summer. And I don't know, I'm sure a lot of people are saying this, but time is just doing this weird thing in a way. The last 6 months have just flown by. And then if I look back to my record launch, which was in October, it seems like it could have been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just a completely different universe.
But you've been, it seemed like you've been working on the material for a while, because when I first moved to Montreal, I saw a few shows over the course of a few years of the material that I believe kind of ended up on this record.
Yeah. I'm not prolific. I'm always, that's something I really envy of a lot of friends of mine who just put out so much beautiful music all the time, and I really kind of agonize over every note. But partly being on tour and really more than anything, I think for a first album, it takes a while to feel like there's something that I really want to put out there. There's something that I actually care enough to share beyond all of the collaborations that I've done, and beyond a lot of the music that I've already put out that I'm happy with other people. Finding your own voice on your instrument and finding your own way through composition. It can take a while to feel like there's meaning behind what you're doing, to the extent that you actually do want to present it and share it with other people, and feel like there's something that you're genuinely offering.
Right, and you're gonna give us a couple of pieces today, and are either of them from that record?
Yeah. The first one I'm gonna play is Ephemeris Data, which is from that record, and that's one of the first. Not the first, but it's the first piece that I wrote for that album that really felt like, oh, okay, this is a lot of things like sound and a lot of musical directions are really coming together, and it started to feel like it made a lot of things make sense to me when I wrote that one. And unlike some of the pieces that I do agonize over, that one came out in like a day. And I think, I don't remember if it was you and I who were talking about this yesterday or another friend a couple of days ago, but there's pieces where you can agonize over them for like a year sometimes, and even after putting them out, you're constantly reinventing them, and you have to find new arrangements, and it's like sometimes you just never crack that nut. And then there's others where like it just comes out and you never change a thing, and every time I play it, I'm like, oh yeah, wow, that's it, I'm happy with that.
Perfect. Well, yeah. Do you wanna regale us? Do you regale with a harp? Is that an appropriate verb?
It could be. What would be the typical to
serenade, or is that also more kind of like voicey?
That would be the typical one, but I mean, it's not the same on a harp. I feel like serenading, you should be able to walk around, which is exactly the opposite of what I can do. Okay, I'm going to move to the harp, so I'm just going to change.
Beautiful.
Tim and I, for everybody out there, I've got kind of an ambitious setup in terms of microphones and amps and everything, and we did spend some serious time yesterday trying to get this all worked out, and I think we've come to a really good thing, but you'll let us know how we did.
Yeah, let us know.
All right.
And we're safe.
We're safe.
That was so incredible.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just magic. Getting lots of clappy hands and love hearts and lots of wows. Lots of wows.
Oh, good.
We even got a wow on there. Never had wows on here before, so yeah, just so incredible. I made a little guest playlist for everybody that's played on the show so far, and in the video text, that is the track that of Sarah's that's on the playlist, so people can follow that if you want to find it. Your Bandcamp page is also in the text description if anybody wants to look that up. And I mentioned in the comments as well, but 50% of the donations every week go to the guests. So if you want to support Sarah and myself, then you can do so by Interac or PayPal. Thank you so much for everybody who's done that. And while I'm thinking of it, actually, somebody named Rebecca Baxter donated last week, and I couldn't find an email address to write back to her from, so wanted to publicly thank her for that. Anyway, that was a little rambling list. That was so fantastic. At the end, you're going so high. Do you feel like sometimes you want to put like even smaller little strings there? Like, how small can you get? How small is the smallest
I've got
string?
a whole other octave above that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a whole other, I think that's the highest note, and the highest note I have to go all the way up there, and then you can go above the nut.
Now, and how is tuning that? Is it an absolute nightmare? Just
No,
like the tiniest little ones?
It's not actually, because it has a lot to do with the quality of the instrument, but it's also harps. The tension of the strings, it's so much tighter than, let's say, a guitar. So there's actually 2,000 pounds of pressure on the soundboard, and yeah, they're super tight strings. So usually, I mean, they don't move that much. I've been on tour where it's been, for whatever disastrous reason or another, we've actually had to leave the harp in the winter in a van overnight, and I pulled it out of the van for sound check the next day, and it's been perfectly in tune.
Oh my god, what a dream.
So yeah, it generally takes me about 5 minutes to tune. That said, when I first started playing, I was renting a Russian harp that was like, I don't know what it would be the equivalent of for a guitar, because I don't think they make something as poor in quality as this thing was. And I even gave concerts where like the little discs that change the string pitches, they were actually flying off like on stage during a performance, and I had to like on stage, my first concert, mouthing to the flute player like, just keep going. It's terrible. And that would take me an hour to tune.
Yeah.
An hour. Yeah.
But you just do it like once a year now?
I didn't even tune it today. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Now, I mean, if you do it on a daily basis, you can forget to do it and you won't even notice.
Okay.
If you let it go for a while, for sure you have to get it back up to tension, but it really holds its tension pretty well. So it's much quicker. Like tuning one harp string is so much faster than tuning one guitar string. So even though there's 47, it's not that bad. It's 5 minutes.
Yeah, I particularly wondered about those tiny little ones, if they were. But it's just a good instrument. And maybe for the folks back home, because I feel like usually when I've seen you play, it's really fun, kind of like watching everything that's going on around what you're doing. But I think a lot of what you're doing is kind of out of shot. So do you want to maybe say a little bit about your process, because there's some processing going on with the harp, and
Definitely.
maybe if you could say something about like what's going on and kind of like what led you to kind of like take the particular approaches that you have.
I can actually even take the webcam and give a little mini tour here of the setup, because it is kind of involved. So I mean, the harp itself, first of all, you can see, I'm gonna just check this bass pickup here. There we go. That's something that I created, and it was actually a big part of the process for me that led to the music that I've written, because what essentially I'm doing, the harp is from this string upwards. It's almost entirely gut. And then the very bottom are steel.
Gut meaning nylon?
No, gut.
Actual gut. What kind of gut are they made from?
I think it's sheep intestine.
Okay.
It used to be cat gut
Yeah.
back in the
I mean,
day.
you
But
hear people kind of like referencing cat gut. Like, what are you saying that for? Like for violin or something? I've heard that expression before.
yeah,
Cat gut.
yeah,
Okay.
it is. I'm pretty sure it's sheep intestine at this point. But
Okay.
it's yeah, it's real gut, and then the very top is nylon because gut breaks too quickly.
Okay.
But the bottom octave and a half is it's got a steel core wrapped in silk, wrapped in silver or copper. And so I realized at one point, especially in playing with bands, the harp is basically, it's got such a huge resonant chamber that you can see behind it. It's basically a feedback machine. And so you have to end up, I don't know how far we can get back here.
Cool.
Oh, we
This
can't
is the
quite
best.
reach.
Oh,
But
no.
you can kind of see the huge chamber. And if you're on stage with drums, and especially vocals going through the monitor, everything collects in the soundboard.
Okay.
And it's a low mid feedback machine essentially. So what you have to do to play with anybody else is basically roll off all of your nice sounding mids.
Right.
You know, like the harp has this beautiful, rich, warm mid color to it, and you have to get rid of all of that. So I got so tired of missing, especially my bottom end of my instrument, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
That I realized at one point I could put magnetic pickups on just the bass strings. So I have the bass isolated. That's my homemade pickup. It's styrofoam from the hardware store with pickups that I got on eBay screwed into those paint stir sticks in the middle of styrofoam.
Amazing.
And it's held on with bicycle inner tubing and Velcro. I need to make a better version, but it works. It does the job. So as soon as I created that, then it gave me this, for me, that it's this thing of being able to do more than one thing at a time. So even without the bass pickup, if I'm just picking strings, I want to be able to pick and like hit I can't do it this way, but hit the soundboard at the same time, or to get a percussion. Being able to multifunction, because I'm an orchestral musician. I'm used to having a lot of sound, and so splitting my bass and then all of the pedals. So we'll do the amps next.
Yeah.
There's basically, I've got a whole whack of this stuff going on, as you can see. And that gets split. There's my EQ. Okay. I have to go through an EQ rack because I'm a feedback machine. There's my 60s vibrato amp. Oh, and you can see the kotos on the wall too.
Oh, nice.
That's the next album. And then that's the next lifetime maybe. And then on the other side, it's split also through my Music Man. And then here is my bass amp. And I get a lot of things going, like apart from all of the just the splitting of signals and then playing, I use a lot of things like the Super Ego and freeze pedals and sort of textural loops to just get that feeling of, maybe I just don't like being alone, I don't know, but like being surrounded by sound and feeling like I can send something to my amp and I can keep playing, and just that my amp, because it's got some vibrato on it or just its color, it makes me feel like I'm having an interaction between my instrument, my performance, and I'm getting a lot back from my amplifiers, from my bass amp, my bass pickup, and my other amplifiers. And I guess that's really important to me, actually feeling like like we were talking about this before we started streaming today, that when I was playing classical guitar, when I first started performing as a soloist, I was so scared I couldn't get through a concert. Like people would watch me and they were like, I was so nervous playing because like, my hand wouldn't stop shaking. And the harp automatically, it's on an emotional level, it's this huge upgrade because you're hiding behind it, and all of the sound is going into your body. And it's such a powerful, it's such a striking instrument, like even just visually, that you're always shielded. You know, people always see the harp first and you second, and I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with that. and then, you know, beyond the harp, now I've got all of the amps and everything, so I just feel kind of surrounded by like, oh yeah, I've got my team. Vid, an engineer that I work with often, he says he calls it the choir of angels. Like whenever he's recording my amps, he'll solo it in the mix, and he's like, "Oh, there it is, the choir of angels."
Nice. Beautiful. So you wouldn't consider becoming a harmonica player in terms of the it would be the
oh my God,
nightmare.
I can't even imagine.
I do want to read a little message out because Ava, who is 9 years old, says, Sarah, that was beautiful. I think everyone deserves a chance to hear that beautiful music. I am completely charmed by this lovely instrument and music, from Ava, 9 years old. And then she says, I think everyone deserves you in their lives. So
oh, that's so nice. Where is she from? I'd love to find out.
In London, I believe.
Wow. Thank you, Ava.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm glad that Ava's is, I feel like there's something about, like, often adults would maybe feel that sentiment, but not want to necessarily express it. So, yeah, thank you, Ava.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying what everyone's feeling. Did you want to play us another piece?
Yeah, I'm going to play a new one that it's something that I'm still working on, but I feel like this is a good opportunity to just try something. Yeah. So hopefully, I was telling somebody the other day, this piece, it's kind of like, it feels like once I get started, it's like riding a horse. And I have yet to make it through without falling off that horse. but it's nice to just feel the wind in your hair anyway. So even if I fall, I think it'll be a nice feeling. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is a new one, and it's kind of a work in progress. Right now, the working title is Like a Bird, because it was actually inspired by a koto piece. I studied traditional Japanese music as well, and it's a koto piece that I fell in love with, that's called Like a Bird, but in Japanese. And I don't know why this piece just feels related to that somehow, the motion of it. So it's called Like a Bird for now. I don't know if we'll keep that title, but there we go.
We won't hold you to it, we promise.
Okay, I might call it Like a Bird. Okay. I'm just gonna get set up over there.
incredible.
It's coming.
So beautiful.
Thanks.
I hope it was a fun horse ride. Was it a horse ride? Was that the?
Yeah, definitely. Always an adventure, trying not to fall off a horse.
No, that's so good. It's been so nice having you on, hearing your songs. Yeah, everybody should go and check out Sarah Pagé. Your stuff is on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the places. Go searching. The link to Sarah's Bandcamp is in the text description as well. I did have one last harp question for you in the comments about how you did sharps and flats.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you one more
one final
up.
tour.
So, first of all, it's my feet. Can you see these pedals? Yeah, we can almost see.
Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah. Okay. So those pedals, this is my beat. I can actually change its position. So this is sharp. I'll play it at the same time. Sharp, natural, flat. And that pedal is connected through springs. It's a giant, this column is not hollow or solid wood. It is full of metal. And then I don't think we can reach to see, but up in here, there's all of these rods that connect to these discs. So you can actually see, this is that same pedal. I have it, yeah. Can you see these little guys turning?
I'm going to zoom in for the folks at home, see if I can make that happen. I think you're blowing some minds here.
So what happens is these little discs, with my foot, I push the pedal and it pinches the string exactly one semitone.
Whoa.
Am I in the right spot even
that
anymore?
It's quite literally fine-tuned.
So yeah, you get basically, here, I'll do it on a C, it's a nice red visible one. But yeah, basically the harp, it's kind of in an open tuning, but an open tuning where whenever you want to change that tuning, it's all done with the feet.
Okay. And when you say open tuning, are we talking sort of like just a simple major scale, or are there kind of like
whatever you want? Yeah, the full open major. So open tuning for the harp means none of the discs are pinching any of the strings.
Yeah.
So my main key is C flat major.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah. Harp actually has that's one of the things, because
major.
we have these pedals. Like I actually have, this is a B, this is a C flat. So I can actually, it's two different strings because I have a B and I have a C flat. And I have an E sharp and I have a B sharp and I have an F flat.
That's getting into the confusing classical world that the level of nuance, the difference between a B and a C flat is
you know what, it's just mechanical. Yeah. It's just mechanics. It's just I have a B string, I can make it, I can put it in a sharp position same as any other string. Well,
I think everybody else who's watching has probably learned something today. I certainly have. Come for the songs,
think of it
stay
as
for
like
the education.
Every note has a capo.
But
all of my strings have,
like a foot control. I guess there actually is a thing for I think it's a Fender Telecaster, a B bender, which I think is like is it a button? But I think you can like maybe get a pedal for it that will shift your. I think so. I could kind of like, if anybody knows, please
turn
confirm.
it into a pedal steel in that case,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like
well, I think that's kind of the inspiration behind it. I think it's a very country sort of thing. But if anybody wants to chime in on that, please do. One final question, because it's from my saxophone teacher from when I was little, so he gets dibs. Do you use equal temperament?
Yeah, I do. I do use equal temperament, and I play around with tunings. I've done a little bit with a cellist in just intonation, and I have I don't know if you know Sam Shalabi and Land of
Montreal
Kush, but
musician.
I do I can tune the harp in quarter tones for that. And that's amazing because all the strings vibrate together sympathetically anyways, so it doesn't sound like an Arabic instrument. It just sounds like this strange cacophony of pitches. But basically I tune it in equal temperament, and I do stretch tune a little bit. So especially playing with orchestra, we tend to push high in the high end because string players push sharp and wind players blow sharp. Which you would know,
so everything
in
kind
the
of
upper range.
Okay.
And I noticed that I hear the basses, they sound a little more in tune to me. I'll put my ear on the column to actually hear how they're beating against each other, because the pitch is deceptive when you get this low. Like it's really hard to tell what note is that. So you have to listen for the actual vibration and try to line it up based on your ear on the wood and the vibration instead of the pitch. But pitch wise, I hear octaves a little bit further apart than an octave down there. So I stretch tune.
Whoa. So would that be kind of common for orchestral musicians in general, that they would kind of hear that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, although I think the bass is, that's just
they don't pay
my
attention
ear.
to that. The bass
I think
players
that's just my ear. Like it's not a common thing. That's it might actually just be a preference for me specifically at the bottom.
Cool. Well, I'm not going to go into what equal temperament and just temperament are here, but people should Google it if they are intrigued. And quarter tones, for those who don't know, it's sort of like if you looked at a piano keyboard and you could imagine sort of notes in between those notes. But yeah, I am not an expert on these things, so I'm not going to say any more, and I'm just going to go and play some songs. So we're going to say goodbye to Sarah. Everybody can say goodbye now. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
Hope to see you in real life sometime down the street.
In the neighborhood. We're neighbors.
Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Sarah for joining today. That was amazing. I learned so much. We could do this again, and it could just be like a harp tutorial for everybody else who wants to know about these things, because I certainly want to know more. I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to play a few more. If you have any requests, get them in, because I'm just going to do 3 more. This is All We Know from the last record.
Only finding the measly essence. You pine in these misleading notions.
That's all we know. So I see a few requests in there. Martin wants a bit of Bruce Hornsby. I actually did look into that one when you recommended it before, Martin, and I'm working on it. So make sure to tune in if you want to hear it in the future. I do this at the same time every week, usually with guests, usually surprise secret guests. So you have to tune in to find out who's playing. I'm going to do Folds because I think Abby requested that. Another older one. I feel like I didn't even ask you how you're doing today. How is the world outside of my house? Alrighty. Maybe some crickets. That's going to be a better plan, isn't it? It's cold. It's cold where I am too. There, you can have some crickets while I tune. Martin can't bear his fardels today. Orange County is on fire. People are cold. Yeah. Things are dark. But we do have each other. So this is Folds for Abby and for anyone else who wants to hear it.
Climb up this fleshy frame. Hands and feet are fixed, stretching up above me. This man-made shoulder wide ladders broken sides. The wind rush, I lost my step, cushioning my back, the sands that came to greet me. The fallen, ranked and filed, away with all the wherewithal. And when you touch the sun, remember what it's for. The heat, pulling sweat from your pores. It's sit on the rising shoulders, cushioning your lives in fold-ons. 'Cause even if you pushed it forward, we've got it wrong. Be still, it's a shineless night, weightless in the folds of wings inside feathers. Still we'll push over land, as breathless as the day we came. And when you touch the sun, remember 'Cause even if you pushed it forward, we've got it wrong.
I'm going to do one more for you. Anastasis, I see your Cohen request as well. Maybe one of these weeks I'll get that in. I don't know that particular one. I will put it on the list. Sarah's in the chat, so ask any questions if you have any of her. Or just, any questions in general. I see your request for Watch Me Go, Joseph. I'm going to do that one next week. I'm going to finish up with Don't Mind here. But keep the requests coming in anyway, and I can put them on the list for next time if they're ones that I know, or just for future possibilities. There was a question earlier on as well from Liz about what my favorite song. Oh, it's from Ava again. About what my favorite song I have written is. I think that All We Know is up there. They all have special places, Actually, I'm going to do two more. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do Be Patient, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Because I got nowhere to go this year. Not that bit.
Strong words, few deeds. Tell me what a friend should be. Go again, roll the dice. Show me where my heart should be. Never mind if we see the day. When it comes, it surely waits. Won't light spoon, is it too late? Lift the cup, lift the plate. If you don't mind, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, if you don't mind. Big wounds in your short lives. Don't mind me while I'm saying goodnight, but you can't tell what comes out of my mouth. Was he whizzing pearls, or was he turpentine? But you don't mind, 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 but you don't mind.
don't mind. I'm going to finish up with Be Patient, which is another favorite. And you've all been patient, so it's the least that I could do to signal the fact that I recognize that. Maybe. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, all that stuff. I'll be back here it's sort of the same time, because the thing that I forgot to mention last week was that there was a time change in ye olde UK and Europe. And so I think it's an hour earlier where you are. But we'll be back to regular service next week, because the North American time change happens this Sunday. So normal business shall resume as the winter falls upon us. So yeah, I'm going to do Be Patient to finish. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who's donated. Again, the donation link is in the text. Yeah, this has been great. Sarah's set was amazing, and there will be more soon. This is Be Patient.
Stealing nothing from something's hands, I was blinding eyes, bouncing off the sands I was paying for. You look behind you and I'm not there, and you get too close, you thin out the air. I was over my head when you look at me as if you've never seen the wheels come off. This cardboard filling spaces in the road. You turn the corner laughing as star sentiment explodes. Your gods have promised everything for you. Sick of this, as you are. It's not simple scratches, not subtle scars. This is painful, and they know, we know. And without meaning, I burst through the clouds. I dried the soil out, I cracked the ground. Is this so? Cause you look at me as if you've never seen the wheels come off. This cardboard filling spaces in the pavement, in the road. You turn the corner laughing as star sentiment explodes. God's putting everything on na 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 na.
Thank you all so much. It's been a treat. As always, a little bit of relief in the week. I'll be back next week, same time, same place.